All right, here's our palette. This is my base coat color, whatever you choose. Mine's blue chiffon. This is Tradition's warm white, and I've added just a smidgen. I mean, I'm picking up the yellow about that much on my, I hope you can see that, on my palette knife, and mixed it in to warm it even more. And that helps to take the chalkiness out of the white paint. This is Ultra Blue Deep. I have a little bit of alizarin crimson over here if I decide to put purple in the sky. In a simple sky, normally I don't do that. I also like desert turquoise in my sky. That's another favorite color that I normally put in my sky. But today, like I said, it's a simple sky, not something that's really elaborate. We'll save that for the day that we do sunsets. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit extender on my palette. Normally I would have a cup, but I don't have with me. And I'm just going to put it all over my sky. Now when you're putting extender on, brush it into the canvas. Okay, like that. Tilt your canvas up by the light and see if you've missed any spots. You should have a nice thin coat on here. Now, if you get too much on, your paint's going to want to run and be kind of sloppy. It's not going to hold well. If that is going to happen to you, you'll know right away. And if that happens, just take a paper towel, lay it on top, and blot it. You want it on the canvas, but you don't want excess. It should not look puddly. Okay? I'm going to pick up my brush, and the important part, well, let's get the shading in here first. I'm going to pick up a little bit of my background color, and I'm going over here and pick up Ultra Blue Deep. And I'm coming down, and I'm going to make a little bit darker blue, and I think I'll add just maybe a touch more of my base coat color. Okay, and then we're going to try this across the top and down this corner a little bit. That's not too bad color. If you think you've got it too dark, pick up a little white, come on down past the puddle you made. Okay, so I'm not back in my middle color there. And put some more in. I'm using crisscross strokes. I would put this on an easel, guys, but you know what? I can't paint on an easel anymore. I have psoriatic arthritis and my arms won't let me do it anymore. So we'll just have to deal with this flat canvas today. Now when I've used up most of my paint, I'm going to stay out of the center part. When I've used up most of my paint, or I can wipe my brush, I'm going to put a little bit of blue down in here, but I certainly don't want to have as much as I have at the top. Now I'm going to wipe the brush out, and I'm going to pick up some of my base coat color again, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to blend between the two of them. Okay. Blending up into the dark, pulling some of the dark down into the middle, your base coat color, and back and forth until you have a nice blended sky. Now don't go all the way to the top or you'll get rid of all your dark and you'll have to lay it back in again. Okay, so we don't want to have to do that. Okay, now I'm going to wipe most of the paint out of the brush. Okay, and I'm going to pick up white, or my mix there. All right, and I'm going to start right above the horizon line, and I'm going to put a light area here in my sky that's just above the horizon. And I'll blend into that middle value. Okay. Pull it down into there, making it blend just a little bit. Now, I don't care to blend mine smooth. I really like to have a little motion. Hopefully you can see this. My monitor is so pale today, the color. I hope yours is showing up better than mine is, okay? You can always blend it more if you feel like you need it. If those brush strokes are bothering you, you can take a mop brush and in kind of a circular motion, kind of blend those two areas together. But I like leaving some of the brush strokes in there. It says it's hand painted, not something that's a print or something else. So I kind of like to leave that like that. Okay. All right. So the main thing we want to do now is to load our brush correctly. So whatever's in the brush I'm leaving in there, I'm going to lay the brush down into my soft white here. And I'm loading only one side. Paint on that side, quite a bit of paint too. And not much, if anything, on the back. And if I feel like I have too much on the back, I'll just kind of wipe it off. So paint's on one side, nothing on the other side. I'm going in here at a 45-degree angle. Now, I don't want to go straight into my canvas. I don't want to go up and down in my canvas on the chisel edge. I want to lay this on the corner. Watch the corner bend under. See the brush? Hopefully, let me zoom this in just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. See the corner of the brush bend under? Okay. And I'm going to tap, tap, tap off the edge. And you notice I didn't do this. I laid it down and I started my cloud. Okay. Now the side that does not have any paint on it, or very little, I'm going to take that and I'm going to blend back in and set my cloud into my sky. Okay, there's my first cloud. Load it again. Paint's on the top. Push, 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 push. I'll probably have more clouds than I really need in this painting by showing you, but that's all right too. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so I've got those set in, and then I'll blend off the back. Now, if you have too much paint, just kind of blot your brush, wipe some of it off. You can also use your fan brush to set these in the sky. See that? Okay, so that helps also. All right, load one side. I'm up on the corner. I'm going to go push, 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 push. Blend, 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 blend. And there's another little cloud. So I have 3 in there. I always have to watch myself because I'll get them lined up like little tin soldiers, and we don't want that. We don't want them to look like cotton balls in the sky or polka dots either. So remember that you don't want to do that, though that also. And I like to let one of my clouds, well, I have this one kind of going off, but I like for some of them to go off the top of the canvas because I think that looks good. By putting that brush down at a 45, rather than like on the chisel or flat, like that, if I'm on the 45, all right, or close to that, and on an angle, let's say. Okay, when I get done, my clouds kind of look like they're drifting. They're not just sit in the sky. If you do this, they're kind of just sit in the sky, and people have a tendency to paint one there, and maybe they'll go over here and they'll paint another one, and the first thing you know, we have what looks like cotton balls or polka dots, depending on how much they blend it. And I know that sometimes you see clouds that look like that, but clouds that are at an angle are more interesting to look at. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, you may have learned to do yours differently, and you like the way you do yours. If that's the case, continue with what you've been doing. Okay, so here we go again. if you get a cotton ball, what do? I hope you can see that. Okay, let's just change it. I'm on that angle. I'm pushing off that edge of paint into my sky, and I'm blending back to set the cloud into the sky. See, not hard at all. If you load it right and you hold it right, it's easy. Aha. Okay, so there's that little cloud now instead of a cotton ball in my sky. Okay? Now, that's really a simple sky, and that's really all we were going to learn about sky today. But if you would like to tint your sky, which I usually do some, and I usually do this before I put the clouds on, but you can pick up a little ultra blue and a little alizarin crimson and make kind of a purpley color. Okay, a little more red in there. Okay, and then let's add winter the blue chiffon to it. Don't always have to use white to lighten your color. Okay, there's a pretty purple. So I'm going to wipe some of the paint off my brush, and I might go up here and tint this a little bit. I should have done this before I put my clouds in, but you can put some other colors in your sky and still have a simple sky. And blend it in. Now, once your canvas, if you're using the extender, if it starts getting tacky, you better leave it alone, dry it, or then you can put more extender on it. But mine's getting really tacky, so it's getting hard to kind of blend it. I'll put a little bit extender in my brush and see if that helps. Okay. So we'll put a little bit more up here in this corner. Come on. Guys, you're going to have to excuse me because I'm not real good with this camera business. And I normally don't do videos. So just bear with me and we'll get through this. Okay, this would not move for me. My canvas is getting tacky, so this should have been done before I put the clouds on, but I just wanted you to see what a little bit of purple added to your sky can change the looks of that sky and make it so much prettier. Sometimes, depending on what I'm painting, I have put a little orange in the sky, or I might put a little pink in the sky, but I like to use lavenders, and I like to use turquoise colors. Okay. Yeah, I can't switch from dark to light without cleaning my brush. I've got too much purple in it. So I'm going to wash the brush out, pinch it dry, and then if you put it on wrong like I have, in fact, okay, just pick up your paint, put another cloud in it, blend it back, and nobody's going to know that you did it backwards, okay? Now our sun's up here in this corner. That's where our light source is. So when I'm painting a cloud, or when I'm painting grass, or when I'm highlighting a tree, my highlights has to look towards the sun. So I was holding my brush this way with the paint towards the sun. Now don't do that. I'm just doing that for example, okay? So each time I put those clouds in, I had my paint on my brush towards the sun, okay? Now, if the sun was in this corner over here, I would probably hold my brush. The correct way would be to hold it so the paint's on this side of my brush, okay? And the other side is the clean side, and you would push off that corner. Well, that is extremely difficult for me. And it would be for most right-handed people. So I have learned, because I can't turn my arms that direction, to put the paint on the brush and work my hand back like this and push off, rather than to turn the brush this way. You can try it either way. If you're left-handed, doing it this way will probably be easy for you. If you're right-handed, or you have any other problems with your arms, you may find that you you have to turn the brush a different direction for you to work with it. But what I'm getting at, my paint is, if my sun's up here in this corner, my paint is going to be facing the sun. Over here, my brush is going to be this way, and the paint is going to be facing the sun. Okay? So, we have these in. I'm going to kind of clean that out a little bit right there where I messed it up so much. This is just, I don't know, for most teachers, I don't know, for me anyway, I don't know what most teachers are going to do, but I'm used to doing things quickly. And so when I have to slow down to show you what I'm doing, it makes it a little harder for me. So, and then I haven't done but one other video, and that was just basically talking you through something. So this is kind of a new territory for me. Okay? So now you're doing this at home. Once you practice a little bit, put the sky on your canvas. Okay? Okay, so there's our sky. Little blotchy. Sometimes that doesn't bother me. For today, it probably is, simply because I'm talking to you and trying to show you. Okay, so that's how we do our sky. Remember, you put paint on one side of your brush, have the paint facing the sun, and you tap, 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 blend, 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 blend. Okay? If you have to say that to yourself, go right ahead. Nobody's going to hear you but yourself. Okay? So tap, tap, tap. Do not do this. Do not do this when you're making your cloud all over the place. Put the brush down, tap, 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 push, 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 and blend, 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 blend. Okay? And you'll have some nice looking clouds. Now, we have plenty of time to do background trees. So while I've got so much paint out here, let's just go ahead and do that. If you want to paint background trees in your painting, there are several brushes you can use. And let me find them all. I have several out here. Okay, this is called a foliage brush. It's like an angular bristle brush, okay? It comes in several different sizes. This is a 3/4, and I think this is a 3/8, if I'm not wrong. Does it say? Okay. You used to could get these from Weber. I don't know if they still have them or not. I know they're getting difficult to find. And I do have some 1 inch and 3/4, and I may have a smaller one than this. I'm not sure what I have back there. But when you're using this, you're going to have the paint on the tip, and you're just going to kind of stipple up and down, move your brush different directions and so forth. And it's just angled perfectly. See, this would be nice for a bigger canvas. Okay, so that's one foliage brush. A lot of people like to use a fan brush. And I used to do trees with fan brushes, but I don't anymore. I use it for grass, for blending water, and that's just about it. I do not like it for foliage anymore. And I don't like them until they're almost wore out. I think this might have been an 8. Well, so much paint on there. Yes, it was an 8. So you know it was a big brush to start with. So over the years, I've broken it down by using it so much. And I only use it on the corner when I'm doing foliage, okay? Never this way. If you lay it down like that, many times you'll get an arch, and you want to stay away from that, okay? So if it's kind of like using that corner just like we did with the clouds. You're pushing and tapping with it, okay? Another brush, an old worn out angle brush, is wonderful for little trees and things that's in the background. These are both old brushes that are all flared out, not any good, but they make wonderful foliage. So any of those brushes will help you to make these background trees. Now, they're not going to be very big, so you don't want to have a great big brush. The other thing is you want a color for these background trees that's just slightly darker than the sky. So many times somebody will say, well, you critique my my painting, and these will be really dark back here. Well, if you paint them dark, they're going to come forward. We want it light. If you're driving in the car and you're looking at the horizon, generally this is very pale back in here. Lots of blue in it, okay? I know of their green trees when you get up close to them, but we went blue, which gives us this look that it's distant, okay? So we went a blue.